Today, we're going to talk about one of the most exciting ideas in energy, something that could completely change how we think about electricity. We're diving into the world of the virtual power plant.
So let's start with a big question, right? We're all seeing it. Millions of EVs are coming, we're switching our homes to electric everything, and at the same time, crazy weather is becoming, well, the new normal. So is our grid, our power system, actually ready for all this? It's a serious question.
To really get why virtual power plants are such a game changer, we first have to understand the huge problem our current grid is up against. It's a real dilemma.
Okay, so check this out. For the first time in about a decade, the amount of electricity we use at peak times is going up, and it's going up fast. We're talking about needing to add the power of dozens and dozens of new, massive power plants, just to keep the lights on during those super hot summer afternoons when everybody's AC is blasting.
And here's the heart of the problem. Our grid was built for a different era. Think of it like a one-way street. Giant power plants push electricity out to us, and that's it. But now we have solar and wind, which are amazing, but they don't work 24/7. So to fill the gaps, we have to fire up these super expensive, super polluting peaker plants. Oh, and if you want to build a new clean energy project, good luck. You could be waiting in line for 5 years just to get connected. The whole system is just under an incredible amount of strain.
So how in the world do we fix this? How do we get a grid that's more flexible, more reliable, and cleaner without waiting decades to build new stuff? Well, the answer is pretty brilliant, and it's called a virtual power plant, or VPP.
The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. A VPP is not a real building with a smokestack. Not at all. It's a cloud-based network, a smart system that connects all these little energy resources that are already in our communities. Think home batteries, EV chargers, and bundles them together, controlling them like they're one single giant power plant.
This is honestly the best way to think about it. The VPP is like an orchestra conductor. It doesn't play a single instrument. Instead, it tells thousands of different instruments, your home battery, your neighbor's EV, when to play, how loud to play, and when to stop, all to create this perfect symphony of energy that helps the grid exactly when it needs it.
So who are the musicians in this orchestra? Well, it's stuff you probably already own or are thinking about buying. We're talking rooftop solar, home batteries like a Powerwall, your car charger, even smart thermostats and water heaters. By itself, your thermostat doesn't do much. But when you get thousands of them working together, suddenly you have the power of a real power plant.
And this is the part that totally changes the game. It turns you, the average energy user, into something called a prosumer. That's someone who both produces and consumes energy. You're not just a passive customer paying a bill anymore. You become an active player helping to keep the entire grid stable and strong.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does a VPP actually look like when it's working? Let's walk through it, see how this all comes together in the real world. Just picture it. It's the middle of the day, the sun is shining, and your solar panels are just cranking out electricity. You're using what you need, and all that extra power is filling up your home battery. Then, later that evening, the sun's gone, everyone's home from work, and demand for power spikes. That's when the VPP sends a little signal, telling your battery to either power your own home or push that clean energy back to the grid for everyone else.
Now, let's scale that up. Imagine a massive heat wave hits. The grid operator is watching demand go through the roof, and they're worried about blackouts, so they send an emergency signal to the VPP. Within seconds, literally seconds, the VPP tells thousands of homes, "We need your power now." And all those little batteries start sending their stored energy to the grid, stabilizing the system and stopping a blackout before it even starts.
So who actually benefits from all this? I mean, this is the really cool part. The VPP isn't just a win for the utility company. It's what you'd call a triple win. It's a win for the grid, a win for the planet, and a win for you.
For the grid, the payoff is huge. VPPs give them a reliable source of power they can call on anytime, especially on those super hot or cold days. It's a fast, flexible, and way cheaper alternative to building brand new, multi-billion-dollar power plants and transmission lines.
For the planet, this is an absolute game changer. VPPs basically solve the biggest problem with renewables, the fact that the sun isn't always shining and the wind isn't always blowing. By storing that clean energy, we can use way more of it, which means we don't have to fire up those dirty fossil fuel peaker plants nearly as often.
And for you, what's in it for you, the homeowner? Well, you get paid. You get compensated for letting your battery or your EV charger help out the grid. This can lower your electricity bills and help pay for your equipment. Plus, when the power goes out in your neighborhood, your battery keeps your lights on. You get paid, And you get peace of mind.
Now, I know this might all sound like something from the distant future, but I want to be super clear about this. This isn't science fiction. The VPP revolution is already here, and believe me, it is growing like crazy.
I mean, just look at this number. The market for virtual power plants is set to grow by almost 28% every single year through 2030. That's not just growth, that is explosive. It shows that everyone, from utilities to investors, is betting big on this technology.
And that percentage translates into some serious money. We're looking at a market that's going to more than triple in just 5 years, jumping from about $4 billion to over $13.5 billion. This is becoming a massive part of our energy system really fast.
And this right here is exactly why that growth is so important. What you're looking at is basically a giant traffic jam for clean energy. There are thousands of solar and wind projects that are already built, just sitting there waiting in line for years to get permission to connect to the grid. VPPs are a way to bypass that traffic jam by using the resources we already have connected. It's just a smarter way of doing things.
Okay, so the momentum is real, it's undeniable, but what does the road ahead really look like? It's not all going to be perfectly smooth. There are some huge opportunities, but also some real challenges we've got to figure out.
So you've got these incredible tailwinds, right? More and more people are buying EVs and batteries, the costs are dropping, and you've got big, supportive government policies coming into place that are basically opening the door for VPPs to compete with traditional power plants. That's huge! But on the other hand, we have to tackle some big challenges, like making sure the system is secure from cyber attacks and protecting people's data and privacy.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The future of energy isn't just about some giant, far-off power plant. It's actually happening in our own homes, in our driveways. The virtual power plant gives each of us a chance to be a part of the solution, turning the things we own into the building blocks of a smarter, cleaner, and more reliable grid for everyone. The future of power isn't just centralized anymore, it's shared.